Tesla stock is rocketing today for two very distinct reasons, plus a third, which is awesome. But let's talk about all of these. The very first is Elon Musk gave a hint that potentially Tesla semis could be set for volume production next year. Now, a lot of people are quite skeptical about Elon Musk's timeframes, so I think this has less of a contributor to why Tesla stock is rallying as much as it is today, but it could be one of the things that is contributing. Here's Elon Musk's comment. He says, Tesla Semi will be in volume production next year. This obviously comes as they are building out the Nevada facility, and we've been hearing about construction for this build out and this expansion for quite a while, and it seems like now the framing is done, the facility's done, line work is being done, and the facility will be ready to crank out Teslas as soon as next year. Now it's unclear, Tesla semis, now it's unclear if the battery technology will actually catch up. We don't think that the 4680s are going to be the core battery that are going to be used for the Tesla Semi. We think that it's likely that we're still going to see some of these Chinese-based batteries, mostly because of cost. Lithium prices are plummeting, so much so that even CATL is actually pausing lithium refining in China for 3 months, one of the largest facilities in the world. Frankly, because lithium prices have come down so much, which is great for Tesla because it's then cheaper to acquire battery material. So it could be one of the reasons. I don't actually think it's really the big reason. It wasn't my motivating factor for the call that we made this morning in the Alpha report. Now, we every day we make multiple calls. The number one call we made today was Tesla to 347.58. We literally labeled it number one. We said that was the core one. I gave it a 48-hour time frame, and frankly, the reason for it was because of, in my opinion, a breakthrough review on the Robo-taxi service, which is critical and a game changer for even my impression of what's going on with the Robo-taxi service. So we'll talk about that. But I want you to know, when I set this Alpha report out, we were sitting in the 330s. And we blew up at open, and it's been straight up towards my line. I thought it would take about 48 hours to get here. I did think we'd trend up on the day. I didn't think we'd as quickly get to this line. But within 48 hours, getting it within 4 hours, we'll take it. It was just awesome. And so if you want these sort of calls, make sure you're part of that Meet Kevin report every single day. It's an Alpha report. You get it every day before the market opens up. When the market is open, just sign up at meetkevin.com. Pay once, you get lifetime access forever. Okay, so what happened? Well, what happened was this channel AI Driver with 135,000 subscribers, they did a really good video on Robotaxi. Now, I'm not going to play their entire video, but what I am going to do is give you some of the highlights that I wrote down on this. So the highlights that I wrote down on this were that, first of all, in their review, and they show the video plenty of time, or they show plenty of context to showcase this, they show the Tesla Robotaxi really as a human-style driver, likely because, obviously, it's trained on human style or human training data. And so even though they're able to engineer some failures, what I found really respectful of this review was that they actually saw various different circumstances of the vehicle as it's being driven acting like a human would. Where, for example, here, where this left car, this I thought was a great example, this left car really sets up this car turning for failure. That is, if you just pull over here and this car keeps driving straight, you end up having an accident. It's a very dangerous situation, but people are trying to be nice. So this person tries to be nice, stops for that person, waves them on or whatever. But if this car just bulldozes through, you've got a problem. But here you could actually see this sort of human behavior where the Tesla Robotaxi actually comes to a stop to enable, even though the Tesla has the right of way, to enable that van to complete their left turn maneuver and keep the flow of traffic going. And if you watch the full review, which I think really the second half is the most useful, which is unfortunate because they have a 32-minute Robotaxi review where I think they did somewhere around, I don't know, 60 Robotaxi drives or something like that. Way more than MKBHD, honestly, which the MK video, Marcus Brownlee video, was okay. I think he was very cautious to be very neutral to both Waymo and Tesla, but there was no real discovery or investigation in his video. It was sort of more like, I went on a ride and then I left. Whereas like this creator, I thought was kind of ingenious, like purposefully putting a bag in the way of the Tesla blind spot and the safety driver's blind spot. And actually the Tesla crashes into it. Well, crashes is maybe an extreme word, but at the same time, he says he hears the safety driver go to open the door, and he found that to be confirmation that the safety driver opening the door is sort of like an emergency override to get the car to stop, which we had all suspected all along anyway. But this was his way of saying that, hey, like the front camera is not used clearly here. And so while that looks bad, it's like an engineered, limited failure that he basically set up, right? And so that's kind of like the worst that came out of this. In fact, out of this video, and this is why I like the second half so much, they actually show the vehicle in sort of extreme edge cases where either it safely stops because it doesn't want to go through a puddle, which previous times it had gone through, which was a little overkill in terms of like how long it waited in this particular area. But they also showed it, and again, watch the whole video yourself. I thought the creator did a great review on it. But they actually showed Tesla doing a phenomenal drive through quite rainy environments, where I thought that the Robotaxi service suspended in rainy environments, but they actually showed this in, I can't find exactly where the minute is in here, but they show this driving through the storm. They show the Robotaxi service fully operating in stormy weather, about how, I think that was it, where the AI team had actually worked very hard on working the Robotaxis for hydroplaning and operating in heavy rain. I found this very optimistic for the Robotaxi service. Here it is, look at this. I found like this very realistic. So the creator gives us a very good overview of a human-like driver in the Tesla Robotaxi, a comfortable and safe experience to where he even felt comfortable going to sleep, an experience that operates in the rain, an experience that's probably not too far away from the hardware that we actually use, given that it doesn't even use the front camera, which was ironically a more bullish thing. And ultimately, a safe and expansionary service that made me look at this and go, wow, this is actually quite bullish, because a lot of us are looking at these Robotaxi sort of expansions as, oh, well, there's a safety driver, that's a big asterisk. But really, that's not the impression that you get at all from this video. When you watch this video, you look at, yeah, there are some extreme edge case scenarios which you would really expect in any kind of Robotaxi service that have to be solved. But the advancements they're making with the Tesla Robotaxi, especially in that rainy environment, and when you watch the video, very impressive. So I have to say, I think that is actually promoting the stock much more today than the semi-truck announcement of a time frame. The semi-truck announcement of a time frame to me is just sort of another Elon time frame commitment. But this Robotaxi video, where somebody actually did some serious testing of trying to push the Robotaxi to its limits, and the most we really got was a Robotaxi that didn't want to go through a flooded area because the safety driver stopped it, and a Robotaxi that hit a piece of luggage that was put in its blind spot. That's the most we got in terms of like bad, is actually really impressive. And so shout out to that YouTube creator, whom I think did a fantastic job on actually putting together a really good video. And I give them a lot of credit for why Tesla is moving the way it is today. That video is called Breaking Tesla's Robotaxi Stress Test AI Driver. So, you know, subscribe and like. Yeah, I think they did a good job. So I think that's one of the big reasons here, because now, you know, one of the big objections a lot of folks have had is that, oh, well, Robotaxi won't work in weird lighting environments or it won't work in the rain. And this clearly disproves that. And again, still, you know, relying on this sort of death grip safety monitor over here. But again, I think this is Elon being likely overly cautious because he realizes, in the words of Elon himself, that even if a Tesla Robotaxi so much as injures somebody's knee, you know, the mainstream media is going to have a field day over it, where, you know, thousands of people die. I mean, 45-ish thousand people a year die from regular car accidents, and we never really hear about them. 45,000 people, just as an example here, or for clarity, is 123 people a day die due to vehicle accidents. 123 per day. In 3 days, we cover basically all aviation-related deaths in the United States in a year with autos, which is crazy to think about. Yeah, I mean, that's wild. That works out to about 2 per hour. So in about 2 hours, we cover all of the roller coaster deaths that happen in the United States per year, which is about 3 to 4. So Elon's right about that. And I have to say, this is optimistic. Now, do we think that this is an economic game changer for Tesla? Well, I mean, stock-wise, yes, but you know, how profitable will Robotaxi be, and how long will it actually take to, you know, scale out without the expense of the safety monitors? I mean, that could be another year or 2 years. I mean, we could be testing Robotaxi with a safety driver and dealing with these edge scenarios for another few years. And even then, will there be enough demand to make Robotaxi profitable relative to the competition of Uber and Lyft or otherwise? Hopefully, because I think the service is actually making leaps and bounds here. And I personally would rather be in a Robotaxi any day than with an uncomfortable driver who cares about, you know, their air conditioned settings, or drives with the window down because, you know, they want to save a couple bucks on MPGs, or, you know, they drive aggressively and dangerously. I'd rather be in a Robotaxi any day of the week. So broadly bullish here for Tesla. So shout out to the Tesla community. This is a great video. It's a great moment for Tesla. And I think that the stock is really moving on a real practical test of the Robotaxi experience versus this semi-truck announcement, which I don't think is really that surprising or much of a game changer. And shout out to those of you taking advantage of the Alpha report who were able to kill it with some gains today. So anyway, if you want to be part of that, remember, use coupon code JHOLE, that's short for Jackson Hole, over at meetkevin.com.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.